Seeker. Written by Suzana Thompson. Performed by Heather Firth. Chapter 24. I can't dissuade Silas from his plans. He has always listened to my advice before, but now he's determined to get his GED and drop out of high school. He's spending most of his free time studying for the test, in addition to doing his regular homework. The test isn't until July, though, and I'm trying to persuade him to have some fun in the meantime. I even resort to quoting Bible verses. There is a time to laugh. See? God wants you to have fun. Silas smiles, but it's not quite the bright, happy smile he usually directs at me. It doesn't feel like my time to laugh. I am burdened by troubling emotions, and I'm having difficulty ridding myself of them. I think it's best to limit how much time I spend with you. Why? I ask in concern. What's wrong? I am experiencing jealousy over you dating Ryan Burke, he replies. Oh, I say. You know about that? I purposely hadn't told him because I didn't want to upset him. He regards me without a hint of blame in his expression. I know now that you're not my destiny, and that I shouldn't feel this way, but I can't overcome these emotions. He's speaking with his usual honesty, and it's putting me in an awkward spot since I don't know how to respond. You'll get over it, I assure him. I know that he just needs some time to adjust to the situation. He had his mind set on marrying me, and now he has to deal with completely letting go of that. Not only is he not going to be with me, but he's having to accept that someone else will. I understand all too well the difficulty of dealing with an entirely different future than the one you had planned. I'm finally adjusting to living my life without Chloe. I mourned for the rest of my friends, too, but not having Chloe around was what affected me the most. I'm slowly filling the gap she left in my life, but I haven't found another girl to become my best friend. Shelby and I have become friendly while sitting together at lunch, and we've even started spending some time together outside of school. She helped me pick out what to wear on my date with Ryan. But I don't have the close, tell each other everything friendship with her that I had with Chloe. Then again, I guess I didn't have that with Chloe either if she slept with my boyfriend. Oddly enough, I didn't think about Scott at all when I went on my first date with Ryan. He's already starting to fade from my mind, and I have to look at pictures of him to remember exactly what his face looked like. I know that's strange, considering that he was my first boyfriend. He should hold a special place in my heart. But he doesn't. I think of our fifth-wheeled Tyler more fondly than I think of Scott. Maybe that's because I found out that he was cheating on me, but I never was that attached to him anyway. It was just nice to have someone to go out with. That thought gets me wondering why I refused to date Silas if that's all I wanted. It's because he's too special to me, I realize. His feelings are too important to me, and he's too sweet to risk hurting. Scott was much more of a typical guy, and I never really thought about his feelings. That's something I never considered before, but it still doesn't excuse him cheating on me. I'm now contemplating my new relationship with Ryan, and resolving to be a more considerate girlfriend than I was with Scott. There's supposed to be an emotional connection, and I never developed that with my first boyfriend. I'm going to be mindful of it with my new boyfriend. Our first date went well, and conversation was easy since he's a more talkative person than Scott was. Ryan gave me a brief, gentle kiss at the end, which was also very nice. I felt that excitement that accompanies a new experience. After all the progress I've made with coping with my life without my friends, it's a small thing that brings the grief crashing down on me again. I pick up my phone one morning to check for text messages, and it hits me that I'll never have another one from Chloe. We'll never fall asleep while talking to each other half the night over the phone. I'll never hear Chloe's voice again. And we'll never laugh like crazy over some ridiculous thing. I feel too empty to even cry. I gaze at the phone in my hand and wonder what the point is of even having it. There's nobody to talk to and nothing to say. I've been left behind to carry on this bleak existence. Right now, it seems like everything good is in the past, and that I'll never be truly happy again. The sudden sound of my phone startles me out of my melancholy contemplation. Silas is calling me. "Will you drive me to school?" he asks as soon as I answer. "My car won't start." "Your new car won't start?" I question Riley. "I left the lights on and drained the battery," he explains in an agitated tone. "I don't want to miss school." "I'll drive you," I tell him. "I just have to get dressed first." I already ate breakfast, so I brush my teeth before changing out of my pajamas and into a pair of jeans and a sweater. I throw on my winter coat and step out into the cold January morning. Chloe hated the cold. She would always talk about moving to a warmer climate once we finished high school. The airline would be our ticket out of here, she would quip. Get it? Plane ticket? I would laugh, because I laughed a lot for no reason with Chloe. I get it. Her eyes would shine with excitement. Just think of all the places we'll go. Only she hadn't gotten to go to any of those places. My own eyes sting with the unshed tears that well up at the memory. A new feeling surges within me and breaks through my depression. I'm going to do it, I promise softly, speaking to Chloe. I'm able to smile at Silas when I arrive at his apartment building. I understand it now. It feels so much better to have a plan. He listens to me explain my decision to become a flight attendant after high school. I understand how you feel about becoming a priest, I tell him with the acceptance I had lacked before. It's not the same thing, he says. I was called by God to do this. You are making your own decisions. Well, God doesn't seem to care about my life, I remark with a note of bitterness. Have you asked him to show you the way? Silas questions. What way? I demand angrily. His way is all death and pain. Don't you remember? That was your purpose. I showed you the cycle of life, he begins. Yeah, I interrupt. We're born so we can die. What's the point of that? We all have a purpose, Silas declares with the conviction of a true believer. Yeah? Then what was Chloe's purpose? I challenge him. What was the purpose of her dying at 16? I don't know, he replies. Only God. Oh, I say in a malicious tone. You mean you know as much as I do? With your close connection to God, I thought you'd know a little more about his purpose. You can be just as close to him if you open your heart to him. Silas counsels me patiently. I can see that he's been completely brainwashed by that Bible Tara gave him. I guess you drank Tara's Kool-Aid. Jonestown, I elaborate as he looks at me with a quizzical expression. The cult that drank the poisoned Kool-Aid. At his blank look, I feign astonishment. Don't tell me that you missed out on that death party. You didn't get invited? What happened? God didn't think you were cool enough? You're angry, he states. He's so calm that it pisses me off, and I careen into a random parking spot. Yeah, I'm angry. Why aren't you? Why do you just accept everything? Why don't you ever do anything that you want to do? My words have had an effect on him, and his expression is intense now. He stares at me before swiftly closing the gap between us to kiss me. His passion overwhelms me, and I kiss him back instinctively without thought to what is happening. The blare of a horn breaks us apart. I glance at the driver who was honking at me to get out of his parking spot, and I begin to slowly back out. My concentration is on completing the task, but my focus returns to Silas after I drive to my designated parking spot. I turn off the car and peek at him to see if he intends to kiss me again. His tormented expression catches my full attention. "What's wrong?" I ask in concern. "I kissed you," he says. I actually blush at the reminder. "Yeah?" "I'm not supposed to," he agonizes. Belatedly, I remember that I now have a boyfriend. "Oh, Ryan." Silas appears to be momentarily startled, like he's forgotten about him too. Then his expression settles into despair. "Another sin. I covet another man's woman, and now I have touched her and forsaken my vow to God." "Hold up," I admonish him. "I'm not married to Ryan. We've only gone on one date. And you're not a priest yet. You haven't made any vows to God." "I have," he exclaimed. "I vowed to preach his gospel." "You still can," I assure him. "The priest in Chloe's church is married. You don't have to be a Catholic priest. You can still be a priest in another religion." That seems to help calm him down. "Are you saying that you will marry me?" he asks quietly. The question puts my thoughts in turmoil. "I don't know, Silas. Why do you have to rush into everything? Slow down." Unexpectedly, he smiles in response to my complaints. "You didn't say no." I fight my own smile. "If I didn't know better, I'd think you manipulated me to get your way." His smile dissolves into a troubled expression. "I have been feeling things that a righteous man shouldn't feel." His confession excites me, because I know that he's referring to what he's been feeling about me. My sudden feelings for him are new and confusing. I haven't sorted my thoughts out past what just happened between us, but I know that it has changed things for sure.